All right. Hey, and welcome everybody. This is Sherman Rain. This is the Godstream podcast. I know I'm in my office right now. It's rarely that anybody ever gets to see my office. In the office today, just been busy. Simply just busy, folks. I want to, before we get started with the topic today, I want to thank everybody for really getting on board with Godstream and sending in your videos and all kinds of cool information that you're sending in. That we try to what we're trying to tell you is that this is a new way of spreading the gospel, and we're using the internet superhighway just like they did back in the old days in the Old Testament. Excuse me, in the New Testament, where they used the Roman roads. So we're actually using the internet superhighway just like the Roman roads were used. So it's just fantastic. So if you really want to get the gospel out, folks, go to godstream.org and you can submit your video. We've got literally thousands of them now, just thousands of videos that are out there. Anything from shorts, short, under 1 minute videos, to literally hours of content that you could actually get to. Some of you like maybe soaking music, that kind of stuff, and got everything, anything and everything that's on there. And we're getting more and more. So once again, just go to the website godstream.org and submit a video, and you can check it out. So I'm looking forward to that. So today we're going to talk. We just have a couple minutes. We're not going to spend a lot of time, but we're going to talk about the whole transgender phenomenon that has been, man, in the last couple of years. It's probably been one of the most talked about, most controversial topics that there could be on, and what it is, and how it is, what it's doing to America and the social fabric of America. Okay, so what is a transgender person, or who is a transgender? What does it actually mean? Well, in the Bible, the word says that in the beginning God made them male and female. Adam and Eve. Many of us know this in Genesis, and there are people though that believe that although they might have been born male or they might have been born female, that they don't feel that that's right. And so at some point in their life, and many of them, it's in their youth, some of them it's as adults, that they decide, okay, well, I don't want to be a man anymore. I don't feel comfortable being a man, so I'm going to be a woman, or vice versa. And so they'll call them transgender males, transgender females, and they begin to start living their life as the opposite sex, the sex that they were not born with, the sex that they're biologically born with, and in some cases, not only do they change dress, the way they dress, but some of them go to the extreme of getting operations that change them physically, outwardly, into the opposite sex. And we've seen this before. As a matter of fact, over the last number of years, we've seen people who not only have changed and this is not drag show stuff, guys. These are totally different people. Drag show, and some people, and we'll talk about this. Let's just talk about this real quick. A drag show are guys who just basically say, "Hey, I'm going to do this for a living, and I'm going to dress up like a girl," and they like RuPaul. You probably heard about RuPaul, and some of you heard about drag queens. Okay, drag, DRAG. And those people do it as a living. They go out and they just kind of jump around, and there's actually TV shows on them. Here in Las Vegas, there's a guy named Danny Marino, and he had a show, and he's homosexual, but he made a living dressed up like Joan Rivers, and he had a whole troupe of guys that dressed up like any number of women entertainers, and they did a show. Liza Minnelli, Tina Turner, the whole thing. So there's a difference between them, because normally during the day these guys look like guys. So, but transgender people literally believe that they are not the right sex, so they go out of their way to change the way they dress And in some cases, I was saying, they actually go and they go to the doctor and get physically changed. And some of them are strikingly different. I mean, you would not be able to tell because they go to that point where they actually get everything changed. And I don't think we need to go into what that means, but they get everything changed. Now, outwardly, appearance, they might look different, but inwardly, they are still a male. If you were born a male, you're never going to change the fact that you're a male. I don't care how much you get physically, outwardly changed, you're still a man on the inside. Your chromosomes will never change. Same thing with a woman. A woman can get all of the parts cut off and grow her hair and grow hair on her face, but her chromosomes will always be a woman. Her bone structure will always be a woman. Right now, we're having a big debate now whether or not that sports-wise, athletic-wise, whether or not, because there are men who've said that they're transgender, that they're women, they call themselves women, and whether or not they can go into athletics and compete against biologically or naturally born women, and they want to compete against them. And you can talk to all kinds of athletes on either side of this debate, but the facts are the facts that a man is born with a certain physical makeup that does not change. It just is not going to change. Your muscles are still bigger, bones are still thicker, you've still got a bigger lung capacity. All the things that make up a man, no matter how much you change it on the outside, no matter how much weight you lose, and you look like a girl, you will always be a guy, and you will always be physically built as a guy compared to a woman. So we've had some, and in some cases, women get hurt as a result of competing against guys. One happened in a wrestling match. One happened in a boxing match. One happened in a volleyball match where a girl got in the way of a guy, a transgender female, and she got in the way of a guy spiking a ball, hit her in the face. She was paralyzed, literally paralyzed. That was the end of her career. We also have now swimming competitions where you probably heard about the whole swimming competition thing where a biological male who was at best a so-so swimmer, male swimmer, when he was swimming as male, he was ranked like 200th or whatever, went to the girls' side and started swimming as a woman and started breaking records right and left, just. So we had congressional hearings on that, whether or not this should be, because this person it's a guy. It's a guy with women's clothes on, now competing against these women and just beating them. This is a problem. This is a problem that has been developing, and it's continuing. It's getting worse and worse and worse. Matter of fact, I saw this article just recently where, and this was on I think this was on our Twitter feed, where this guy, his name is Valentina Patrio. He's born a man. Got in the Paralympics competition and won. Let me look at this article here because I'm going to look at it. A trans runner earns 9th medal, 3rd place finish at Women's Paralympic World Championships. And so this is almost comical. It really is. Patrio finished the race at 58.24 seconds behind Omara Durand of Cuba and Alejandra Perez Lopez of Venezuela. And so it looks to me like they're running like a 400-meter. Yeah, that's right. So they were in Paris on Thursday. So you've got Dylan Mulvaney. I just see another article here just really close to it. Dylan Mulvaney, who, it's a guy. It's a guy dressed up like a girl and prancing around, telling everybody how cool he is, that kind of stuff. And, this is a... Anheuser-Busch, one of their execs in their advertising department, thought that it would be a great idea to introduced Dylan Mulvaney, who is a internet sensation, I guess, and to get behind the Bud Light thing, and to advertise Bud Light, put Dylan's face on a Bud Light can. Well, this didn't go over really well. As a matter of fact, Bud Light stock is still going down. It's down by 25%, and as a result of this, Bud Light is probably going to be, as a matter of fact, it happened in Costco already. Costco, and this rarely happens unless you're really tanking. Costco said we are not going to buy any more Bud Light. Once the supply that we have runs out, that's pretty much it. That's bad, because Anheuser-Busch is a well-known trademark name. It's been around forever here in America, and because they jumped on board with this lunacy of somebody saying that they are a woman when they're obviously not a woman, or a man when they're obviously not a man, that they're suffering for it. So let's turn a corner here, folks, and let's talk about this very seriously. We are Godstream we're not political. We are very biblical in all the things that we talk about. The Bible is very clear, and the Bible will. God says He will not be mocked. That those people who practice this type of stuff, those people who go around saying things that are not true, that eventually it's going to come back and bite them. That's all. I don't know. We're so happy that we serve a graceful God. We do not hate anybody, folks, and we will never hate anybody. We will never vilify anybody. Whether they believe there's something that they're not, whether they're a liar, cheat, or steal, whatever they do, we pray for them just like we pray for anyone else. We love everyone. I just want to stress this as much as possible, but we cannot ignore the fact that these people are fooled. They're being fooled, and not only that, but now they've got a huge swath of America getting in bed with them and saying that this is great. And people are saying that if you don't call me by my pronoun, or if I don't, you don't say that I'm a she when I'm a he, and just because I feel like it, that they're going to sue you. This is still, as far as I understand, it's still America. And in America, we have the right. You have the right to do whatever you want to do, but you do not have the right to tell someone else what they have to do. And we as Christians need to understand that and stand up and go, look, I'm a Christian, and my Bible says that there are only two sexes. There are not thousands of sexes. There's not people who, just because they decide that they want to be something else, that it makes it so. Okay? I can't say that I'm a raccoon and all of a sudden I'm a raccoon. Okay? I can say it all I want, but the reality is that I'm still a guy. So we just pray for those folks. We pray for anybody who decides that they're trying to be something that they're not, and we just hope that at some point in their lives that they'll get over this. Unfortunately, what's happening now is that this is spilling over into our educational side, and in the last couple of seconds I've got here to talk about this, I don't want to be very long on this. This is affecting our kids now also, where it's one thing for an adult to say that they're something that they're not, but when a child says that there's something that they're not, and then other adults say, yes, we want to encourage that, that's a problem. Because kids, as far as I understand, and as far as I know, generally don't become smart until they're in their mid-20s. So for you to believe that a 15-year-old, 13-year-old kid is cognizant enough to and responsible enough and knows enough about the world enough to make an informed decision about the sex that they ultimately are, I think you're just being goofy. And adults telling parent, we don't have to tell you that your child is suffering this way. As a matter of fact, we're going to help your child get a sex change. We're going to help your child find other people who are just as confused as they are. We're going to help your child in this delusion. That's dangerous. It's just simply dangerous. As a matter of fact, there's been countless numbers of studies, countless numbers of children who at the age of 10 change their mind by the time they're 10 and a half. You know, they at the age of 13, they change their minds by the time they're 13 and a half. Just because your child right now exhibits feminine or masculine traits doesn't mean, and they are either a boy and a girl, and they decide that they want to be a girl when they're 13 years old and they're a boy, does not mean that that's the way they're always going to be, because kids change their minds. They always do. And there was a story, and I don't have it here in front of me, but there was a kid who did the same thing. And the mom was suing the school district because the school district decided that they were not going to tell this mom that they were helping their child to transition. It was a girl, transition to a boy. That child has since said, no, I kind of like being a girl. But that's the way kids are. But in the extreme, one child, they helped this child mutilate their body. And this girl will never have female genitalia anymore. They'll just never have that because they made that critical choice. And it just shouldn't have ever happened. So, that's where we are in the transgender debate right now, folks. We've got a long way to go in this country, and our country really needs to be very serious and sober about this transgender debate before somebody gets hurt. Because right now, you've got doctors, and you've got lawyers, and you've got advocates, all basically making money off of confused, hurt people at a time when they don't need to be taken advantage of. They need to be hugged, they need to be held, and they need to be affirmed that they are truly, fearfully, and wonderfully made, because that's what you are. This has been Sherman Ray for the God Stream podcast. I hope you enjoyed this, folks. Check us out on Spotify. You can check us out on our social media sites. And go to our website at godstream.org. That's godstream.org. And you can upload your videos. And who knows? We're going through thousands of them right now, folks. It's kind of a slow walk right now to go through all these videos and get them up there. But we will, if they're great quality stuff, we'd love to get them out there, and tell your friends. Go to godstream.org and upload a video. We'd love to have them be a part of the thing. If you'd like to get a hold of us, you can write to us at godstream7@gmail.com. That's godstream7@gmail.com. Once again, this has been Sherman Ray for the Godstream podcast. We love you, folks. Thank you so much for being a part of it. We'll talk to you soon.